Just beyond, nestled deep in the low rolling hills, a sequestered glen. It's a quiet, peaceful place, and yet somehow foreboding.
Fuck sleep, clean, zone. Can't forget that I'm golden. Can't forget where I'm going. Police, enemies, fake homies. Can't forget that I'm a OG. Better act like you know it. Blunt smoke weed, codeine, cold. Tell the bitch that I'm lost. Get her back and fucking above. Coco, selling, Tiffany, she loves. Ain't concerned with who bought this. Can't forget that she bought it. I was about to serve balls, trying to ride the wave. I was cooking up another fucking tidal wave. Had to get it tight enough to fucking stop the wave. Had to take another time, sorry for the wait. Barely ever took a break, flashing like the time. 4 hours in the day. I apologize if I'm late. Time to bang. Whoa, really look like I'm away. Dog the shade, blue vein, blue money in the bank. Fuck coke, fuck sleep, don't think, zone. Can't forget that I'm golden. Can't forget where I'm going. Fuck popo, police, enemies, fake homies. Can't forget that I'm a OG. Better act like you know it. I remember I was born. I was younger than the homies. Now I ride you with the homies. Eyes looking like a gold.
Yo. What's good? Previous song is Tears in the Rain. Yo. I shouldn't be muted. You guys should be able to hear me. My mic is lighting up. Alright, what's up, everybody? Gonna take a moment to settle in here. I'm gonna keep this a pretty chill stream, most likely. I don't have a whole lot of stuff that I really wanted to cover. No, like, predetermined plans, so what we'll do is we'll do a pretty standard rundown. And, you guys are trying to fuck with me, but I know that my mic's working. Nice try. Standard rundown, we'll look at Bitcoin. We'll try to update some thoughts here and there and do review. And then, yeah, I kind of want to make today's stream just chill. Maybe focus on questions. So if there's anything that you're really interested in discussing, just throw it in the chat. And we'll talk about it. But yeah, hopefully everyone's doing well. Please do your best to keep your emotions in check. These are trying times for everybody, but you just gotta, learn to fucking vibe it out. I think that with time, eventually you become super desensitized and numb to the social media stuff, but when you're in the earlier days, everybody shitting their pants on Twitter can be kind of rough to endure. So I really recommend that everybody either takes time off from scrolling Twitter every day or just learn to not let it affect you anymore. But yeah, enough of that. Hopefully everyone's doing well. Just gonna chill for a minute, catch up with chat, and then we'll get started in like a minute. Suggest me a good movie. Oh, I like that. Let's see. If you haven't seen The Social Network, I think that that's probably my favorite film of all time. So I would definitely recommend that. I watched The Matrix recently. After I only ever watched it when I was a kid, so I didn't really appreciate it. I watched it recently, like a week ago, and The Matrix is fucking sick. I don't have a whole fucking list of movies though, but definitely a bit of a nerd with movies. If you've never seen the original Alien, you gotta check that out. All right, let's stop fucking about. Let's get into some stuff. So again, I want to keep today's stream pretty chill. I'm gonna run through thoughts that I have, you know, that are worth updating, but I would definitely appreciate it if you guys asked questions to help me, you know, go in the correct direction with conversations. Sicario, yeah, Sicario's good. Interstellar is good. Wolf of Wall Street. Wolf of Wall Street's okay. It's, you know, it's maybe entertaining. Just watch, you know, the degeneracy. We appreciate that. Tokyo Drift. You spelled Tokyo wrong. It's over for you, Lear. Space Odyssey, yeah, for sure. The intro scene to Space Odyssey is fucking incredible. It's like absolutely genius with the monkeys just discovering tools and shit. That's great. Will Smith turned down the Neo role. Sucks to suck. All right. Devil Wears Prada. Nice. I'm sure that's unironically not a terrible movie, but not my style for sure. Terminator 2 better than anything else. That's a bit of a wild statement right there. Whiplash, yeah. I've actually never seen Whiplash. It's on my list to watch, but I've never gotten around to it. Song, this is just an interstellar retro wave mix. Leon the Professional, definitely a must watch for everybody. That's a classic. Good shout, Short Bus. Did you know that Shrek hits 20 years for the first time playing in cinema? That's crazy. Shrek 2. Wait, Shrek 2? Not even Shrek 1? Holy fuck, we're old. Cup of coffee and education. Welcome, bro. CT sentiment more autistic than my spelling. That's wild. How many songs did I miss? You missed 3. Yeah, we're just like chill trap. Really, the boys like Devil Wears Prada. That's crazy. I don't know what that says about you. I've been hearing that the Fallout show is kind of a banger. We were on movies that we weren't talking about TV shows, but can we finally go to 55K? Nope. We're not going to 55K until you've given up on it. All right. Let's get serious for a second here. So, I'm going to go ahead and get in some Bitcoin talk, and then we'll see where we go from there. We'll start off with the higher time frame. There's really nothing to update on this. We're just going to kind of rehash where we've already been. So from a high time frame standpoint, we're in an uptrend, obviously. Price is currently stuck ranging between 70K and 60K roughly. You know, we can get a little more precise on medium time frame with that, but that's essentially what the macro range is like. What's happening is not outside of, you know, my expectations. Been saying this for like a month and a half, 2 months now. Gonna keep saying this, that it's kind of, you know, over from a volatility standpoint for the time being for us. The kind of event selling that we got, what was that, like 2.5 weeks ago? This kind of sell-off over here that we got from all the news, that was basically going to be the peak of volatility for the summertime. So, yeah, I mean, trying to bet on, you know, momentum or any sort of larger move right now is pretty foolish. The only kind of trading that really makes sense to me is lower time frame stuff, being really aggressive about taking profit. But yeah, I mean, I see some crab comments in the chat. We're essentially we're just crabbing right now, right? really just look back to, the last summertime and expect it to play out somewhat similarly to this, where it's going to be essentially just bloody chop for, a few months. And the good news is we're already into the first, 2 months of, the beginning of that pain. We probably have till, I would guess like late June or early July at the earliest is when the volatility will probably start to come back. But you just got to frame things optimistically, right? Because I know that everyone is down horrendous emotionally and stuff right now. You just got to recognize that, frame things glass half full and realize that right now is when a lot of people are going to really start to capitulate and give up on things. They're going to unironically pivot to AI or whatever, or they're going to, just outright just turn their brain off and stop paying attention fully. I really think that right now it kind of depends on where you're at in your arc. So I'll explain it like that. If you've been around for a long ass time, you've been around for trading crypto for 7 years or 8 years or whatever, maybe it makes sense for you to be focused up on just like chilling and not really being super focused up. I think that makes a lot of sense. I'm going to take another vacation here in May, maybe 2, we'll see. Because I've been around a while and I'm not going to get caught off guard by the volatility coming back, because I kind of know how it's going to play out more or less. That we're going to keep, volatility is going to keep going in a steady downtrend until eventually it pops back in a big way, and you just got to trade once the volatility comes back. So if you've been around a long time, I would probably take some time off and chill. If you feel like you're one of those people that maybe hasn't been around that long, or maybe you really feel like you need to like catch those big W's still, right? You haven't really built up your capital. Research. You should be studying what the next kind of big fundamental things are going to be. I would recommend looking really closely at the Solana ecosystem. I think that that's going to be the obvious winner. It reminds me of DeFi in a lot of ways, with the launching of all these tokens on the chain, etc. So yeah, I mean, TLDR across the board for hard time frame is that just if you feel like you need to make money, don't actually focus on money right now. Focus on the like prep work to make money, right? Because I really am super confident that like late Q3 into Q4 is going to be, free money season again. And if you've done the legwork to know what kind of narratives might emerge, what kind of individual projects might outperform, etc., I think that that's how you're going to beat other people. So I really would strongly consider doing what I just said. Get in the trenches right now and start doing research. And that's really one of the best ways to outperform people with uptrends, is just having a better understanding of what's going to be coming out and why it has a reason to go up. That's pretty much it, right? For my kind of hard time frame ramble. To get a little bit more technical with it, everybody's watching the 60K level and doesn't really want to see it get lost. I think that with the way things are looking, it's probably going to be lost in some way. I don't really think that it's going to we're not just going to like sell through it like this. That is possible. I think what more likely happens is that we come back into the level, we kind of lose it a little, we round out, we reclaim it, and then come back up into the range at some point, and then test it again, right? So we'll just keep probably trading down into these lows, bouncing back up into the range, midpoint roughly, squeezing out shorts and then bleeding back down. I think that's how the rest of the summertime will probably play out, more or less. I don't really think that we're going to have a big spike in volatility anytime soon. I think that we'll just keep rinsing idiot longers at the midpoint and rinsing idiot shorters at the range lows over and over again, for the next 2-3 months. So yeah, hopefully that's all clear. If there's any questions on that stuff, let me know. I think that if we convincingly lose 60K and don't have kind of a rounded out bottom and puke through it, then that means that we'll end up trading towards probably like 45K at that point. Apparently it's my birthday, so yeah, happy birthday to me. Celebrated my 13th birthday. Yeah, I'm literally a savant. So yeah, so if there's any questions on this stuff, let me know. I'll catch up with chat really quickly, and then we'll move on. Let's see. The I've been working under the strategy of not letting my spot bags, which you recommend checking for daily, weekly setups to buy my favorite altcoins, keeping it simple. All right, sounds good, dude. Talk about volatility. How do you measure it? Is it using RSI or AO or some other momentum indicator? Definitely not, right? So I'm not gonna lie. I generally just gauge volatility with my eyeballs nowadays, but I definitely would not recommend using momentum oscillators for gauging volatility. If you want a more literal way other than just staring at candlesticks, which honestly you can just use candlesticks to gauge volatility, right? Especially when you understand the cyclicality of you transition between high vol and low vol, right? And the market generally actually wants to be spending the majority of time in low vol. That's why after a high volatility event, you normally start to, see the decline in vol, right? I would just go look at realized or implied vol on any of these, standard data analytic websites. That'll give you a good idea. Probably just focus on realized volatility because it's, it's probably going to be the most simple way for you to look at that. But I mean, you could probably even just, I bet you if you just type in volatility into the trading indicators section, I bet you there's like simple volatility indicators that will pop up. But to be clear, definitely don't use momentum oscillators to gauge volatility. That doesn't make any sense to me. Giga trolls in the chat. I like that my chats are always a perfect combination of intelligence and autism. Real quick, good segue. 155 of you in here and 33 likes. If you could press that like button, it really helps us out with the YouTube algo. There's a lot of really shitty YouTube channels out there that are a million times bigger than mine, so I want to grow my channel to be the voice of reason and to try to help noobs out. How you trade high time frame chop in the lower time frame? I just trade lower time frame strategies. What do you mean? Like, I don't really factor in, like, maybe on some level I'll factor in the idea that I think that it's going to be low volatility bloody chop, and that will like be part of my bias for which direction I choose to bet on. But I just take my lower time frame intraday or scalping strategy and just apply it. Like, I'm not really overthinking it. What are some signs to start scalping during these low vol periods? Yeah, that's a great question. So I actually want to start scalping again. I've said that a couple times on recent streams and stuff in the Paragon. What I'm looking for to start scalping again is basically for volatility to pick up on altcoins. So generally how these kind of regimes play out is that the volatility really shrinks across the board. And then you see the PvP pick up on like one or two coins, basically, right? So we used to call them the cartel coins last year. There's just gonna, hopefully soon, there will start to be like one or two altcoin perps that really pick up in volatility. And those will be the ones that I trade, right? So just off the top of my head, last year, there was coins like TRB, there was coins like Filecoin, coins like BLZ, coins like perp. There was just these coins that kind of ran up, and you would see all this liquidity and volatility and active participation just chase those perps because they were moving. So that's the long-winded answer. Just wait. Once the volatility picks up on like one or two altcoins, I'm going to be in there clicking. I think this is also a really good time to be researching airdrops. Yeah, so I mean, I genuinely don't do airdrop stuff, but yeah, I mean, for a lot of you guys, it probably makes sense to be focused on airdrops, right? So I'm thinking more about like fundamental ecosystem things that I can buy. But yeah, farming protocols that you think are going to be a big protocol in 5 months, to get their airdrop is pretty fucking smart for sure. That stuff works pretty well when the caveat is you have to be kind of spot on with it actually being a valuable protocol and stuff. Hey Mag, do you think 52k is less likely to hold? Seen some folks place significance there. So I mean, it's the 2021 value area high, so it is going to be a significant level, but basically the way that I look at things is that since you had this big void and this big like trend move up, I need to change the color on that. Since we've had this big move up, if it doesn't get defended, then we'll end up going through it, basically, is the kind of argument. It's how I always view, you know, anything from like single prints to like low volume nodes. Low volume nodes are areas of initiation from one side, so basically since this is an up move, if the buyers don't defend in here pretty quickly, that means that you drift a lot lower. That's how I always view that stuff. I'm glad to see you guys care more about the likes than me. How do you see spot buying and selling? The same way that you would look at perps, right? So you just need something that actually is spot buying or selling. You know, I generally use like a delta histogram to do most of the views on that, but I also use spreads. So spreads and delta. Spreads, to clarify, meaning, you know, premium or discount between spot and perps. Do you utilize daily or weekly cycles for the way you observe Bitcoin and the S&P market? I guess kind of in a way I do, right? Because like on like kind of the lower time frame, there's like a cyclicality, right? Where, you know, generally you get moves at the beginning of the week and in the middle of the week, and then the end of the week is normally less volatile and the weekend is the least volatility. I mean, so in those regards, yeah, I do think about the cyclicality a little bit, but it's not like something ingrained into my system, just like a nuanced bit more than anything. At what point would you throw in the towel on the Doge high time frame play? If it loses like 12 cents, I'll probably just take my L. My average entry is around 13.3 or something like that, 13.4. So I mean, if, yeah, I'll take my like 10-15% L if I have to, but I'm really not too worried about Doge. I know that a lot of people are. What's your win rate on your scalping strategy? I hate saying these kind of things because it sounds pretty cringe, but yeah, I mean, honestly, my win rate is pretty high on my scalping. It depends on, you know, I've had different results depending on the regimes and stuff, but the last time I was scalping really actively was Q3 of last year. I haven't scalped since then, and I definitely had like almost a 90% win rate, but the way that I scalp, the risk to reward isn't really that good, so you have to have a high win rate to scalp how I do, because otherwise, right, like a lot of my trades are like 1R trades or like 1.5R, so if you're losing a lot, you're not going to win at all, right? Are you still long-term bullish on Doge for the cycle? I am, yeah. So I know that a lot of you guys are probably in drawdown, and you know, you should probably, I hate to say this after the fact, but when people are being obnoxiously bullish like I was, where I'm like posting on Twitter all the time, you need to take everything with a grain of salt and not like just fucking buy anything just because I'm posting about it. Even though I'm being stupid about like my Doge, every time I bought was like at like an opportune time to buy. I'm not just randomly buying in the middle of a range or something. I'm always buying these things on big sell-offs and stuff. So sorry if you guys are underwater, but just, yeah, I mean, I can't tell you what to do because it's your money, but I'm personally not worried at all about my Doge play. Things could change if we trade lower, we'll see. Today seems like an okay day to scale into spot, right? Question mark. Some alts back to the big dump lows. No, I don't know if I would definitely necessarily recommend that you're scaling into spot right now. Picking bottoms, trying to time bottoms is really pretty foolish for the most part, guys. You should just wait until it's obviously bullish again and just turn your brain off and buy. I know that like once it starts to go up again and looks healthy again, that it's hard to buy because you go, oh, I could have bought the low a week ago or whatever, but just go ahead and just try to get past that, right? Picking bottoms is not something that you're going to be able to do consistently. Even if you're a really good trader, you're going to still struggle to do that. You're much better off just recognizing momentum and just playing along with it. And right now, momentum is definitely to the downside in like the medium time frame, right? On the macro, it's still up for sure, but momentum's a bit down right now, most definitely. Are you hedged or long? I'm spot long right now still. But you guys, I mean, gotta know that like the majority of my exposure in my portfolio is from like a lot lower, you know. My highest Bitcoin buy this cycle was 25K. BitBoy losing his own channel was the Pico bottom. That's crazy. I didn't know that BitBoy lost his channel. I think we have a problem this cycle with the amount of scam and garbage sucking liquidity way more than ever before. I don't agree. Every cycle that I've traded has had lots of scams, so I don't think that there's anything super different about this cycle with regards to how many scams there are. I don't think it's that big of a deal, man. Yes, there's scams. It is what it is, right? Any ecosystem like crypto is always going to have grifters that come to suck money out of stupid people. It is what it is, but I don't think it's worse than it's been before. Sucks to suck, Nikki. What's the most important part of your system? Price action, VWAPs, indicators. Probably VWAPs these days. What are good applications of the spot perp premiums combined with other stuff? I mean, essentially, if you have a decent read on what's happening with the flow, and then you know, look at the spot perp premiums, you do need to use your brain a little bit. It's not always straightforward, right? Just perps being above spot doesn't mean that spot's selling necessarily. You got to apply nuance to it, but that's just the general idea, is trying to get a read of who's buying and who's selling, who's taking the market down or who's lifting it up. Would you long a swing failure of 59K? I might. Wasn't really planning on it. I'm not really trying to, you know, you're asked like would I long a swing failure, right? So I mean, if you're talking about like a lower time frame trade, yes. Would I be taking a directional swing here though? Almost certainly not. Finally made a MAGA stream. Welcome, dude. Always gonna be scams, fact. You bullish on cat coins? I mean, I'm sure they'll do well. I don't have any cat coins though. I only have dog coins. I think I only have like 2 dog coins too, and they're large caps. What's your reason for preferring VWAPs over EMAs? I mean, the simple fact that VWAPs are incorporating volume, and I'm, you know, an order flow trader, right? So that's why. VWAPs just fit in better with my style of trading, which is auction market theory. A lot of alts have lost their yearly VWAPs, so just curious to where you're thinking goes to next. You just keep the focus on Bitcoin. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care about the aggregate of altcoins. I'm definitely mostly focused on Bitcoin, because Bitcoin is going to be the determining factor of where the overall market goes. So I don't really care that much about the aggregate of alts. The only alts that I'm interested in are the outliers that are much stronger than the rest of the market. Basically the entirety of the altcoin market is like fucking cooked as shit right now. That's been the case for like a month or higher now. So I mean, yeah, Bitcoin hasn't even lost its range low, and a lot of altcoins have like basically reset their entire trend. So yeah, I mean, it's just like placing emphasis on getting really strong, like only trading the strong outlier coins is like becoming more and more important. I know you guys have heard all the threads about dispersion, altcoins, this and that, and it really is an important lesson that you guys need to soak up. It's always incredibly clear when we do the altcoin section and the tickers that get requested. A lot of the times they're just absolute dog shit tickers, and it just shows that people aren't really good at sorting out what's weak and what's strong, which it really is as simple as like what the fuck is going up and what's not going up, right? Like, you don't need to overcomplicate it. Sure, I use different approaches and stuff to scan those things, but It really is as simple as does it have an uptrend or not, right? That's how you should be questioning that stuff. I don't even know anything about CZ sentencing, so I won't speak on it. All right, I'm gonna jump down into some medium time frames really quickly. These are my plans for the beginning of the week. We didn't really get what I was looking for, so what I was hoping for was that we got a little spike at the beginning of the week. I was kind of hoping we'd trade up towards the midpoint a little bit more, and that would have been a really good short opportunity. And then I thought we would do a stab at the lows, which that's where we're at now. So I think that, you know, somebody was asking about like a swing, you know, an SPF or whatever the fuck those stupid setups everyone trades are called. Right, if we sweep these lows and kind of start to reclaim, that would be a pretty good, you know, reversion trade back up to like 64K basically. I think the risk to reward is probably there, especially if you're like aggressive and get a good entry on it. I mean, you're looking at like a 3-hour trade basically. So I think the risk to reward is there on that setup. I definitely don't think that we're going to break the range and go down in any meaningful way. Yes, it is possible. But, you know, I've already leaked this so many times before. I've done threads on it. I've talked about it on the stream. When you see a big down move, don't just fucking buy it. Because it's always going to, the market's always going to pressure you because the momentum's to the downside. So you need to wait for it to do those further drives and then start the rounding out process. And once it's rounded out, especially once you're in this stage where it started to round out and it's done the kind of 3 drives pattern, any like big sell-offs after that, you buy, right? And that's how you get optimal positioning and don't have to deal with getting pressured by the downside momentum. I know that my drawings were disgusting there, but that's genuinely such important advice, and it's wild how often I have to say it, and it like people struggle to really sink that in. 187 of you and 68 likes. Unacceptable, unacceptable. We need to pump those numbers up. Press like for me. Is there anything higher than 1 minute chart for open interest is a meme? Or I read that backwards, but we got the point anyways. Not really. I mean, I do always make the argument that the lower time frame VWAP is going to be more accurate. So we go to or I said VWAP, I meant open interest. So like a lot of the times I'll keep my open interest chart on like a 3 minute, and I'll just go to the 1 minute when I want to like, okay, let's make up a theoretical situation. If this is what the chart looks like, where price is going down, has like maybe a spike, and then open interest is kind of flat, and then open interest goes up a lot, I'll zoom in to low time frame to look at what's happening here to try to get a more accurate read on if those are longs or shorts basically. But you're fine reading open interest on like a 1 minute, or I mean like a 5 minute or something. It'll be fine. It's just less accurate, right? Once you get to like 30 minute and beyond, though, that's where it becomes a meme, right? Open interest on a 1 hour or a 4 hour. We should be bullying people that are posting that because they're just engagement baiting, and they're not using the tool the way that it's meant to be used, basically. If some guy posts a chart and its price is going up and open interest is going up and he's on a 4 hour, right? And he says, look at all these longs opening. Well, yes, I'm sure there's going to be longs opening when price is going up, right? But to say that is like, it's just like guesswork, basically. There's no confidence in that statement because you lack the granularity. No problem, Firm. What time frame generally do the 3 drives occur on after a dump? I mean, I always look at those kind of things on low time frame personally. But yeah, I mean, time frame is a meme in the sense that like I don't care about time frame. I normally look at these kind of things on lower time frames because that's how I want to watch the market most of the time. So like a 3 minute or something is probably what I'll watch it on. I really like the 3 minute because it's like a good blend of the 1 minute and the 5 minute. The 5 minute gets a little too blocky sometimes. The 1 minute has a little too much noise. 3 minutes, the fucking sweet spot. The Goldilocks time frame. But yeah, I mean, time frame is a meme for something like that. So like the 3 drives pattern, I would honestly go recommend looking at my 3 drives or my momentum loss Twitter thread that I put out recently. Okay, so that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. I went over the high time frame, I went over the medium time frame. I feel like this is good bait to just show my Twitter or my setup here. So if you guys have any interest in asking me questions about this setup, that's a very easy topic for me to talk about. Nice little blend. I read that as bell end at first, Lear. Spending too much time with Charlie. I'm underwater, sir. Sorry, brother. It's not the first, and it's not the last time you'll be underwater. If you want to be a trader, you're going to have to be underwater on things. It is what it is. What about a 7-minute? You're fucking memeing on that guy that replied to me the other day. I put out a VWAP thread, and some guy responded to me, yeah, the VWAP is okay and all, but it's not really accurate. The 7-minute trend channel is better or something like that. Like, bro, how can something like a VWAP not be accurate? It's literally a fucking direct calculation of price and volume. It's not like what? That's like saying a moving average isn't being plotted accurately. Retardio. I'd like to learn about your setup. Well, then ask questions. I'm going to linger here for a minute because I'm just going to pretend that I have things to talk about today. Honestly, I never have anything to talk about. You guys just ask questions and I just respond to them. So really asking questions is what you need to be doing. It does appear that we are going lower. I'm going to buy 57.8K. You heard it here first. It's going to be the swing low. Maybe a little Paragon chill time. We just reworked all of our indicators, so you guys are seeing some of them on your screen right now, but we're going to have like a full remastering of the indicator suite, which is going to be pretty awesome. We just need to bully Charlie into doing the final touches and getting everything posted. How much are you still in stables? Like 15% probably. To be clear, like I have like money set aside that is like for survival and all that kind of stuff that is in, you know, simple things like money markets or like mutual funds too, and I don't really count any of that stuff, but it's more or less stables as well. Have any spot bags on alts that you've been holding for a while? I've been holding Solana for a really long time. Solana's my second biggest bag. I've been holding Solana for like a year and a half now almost. The only thing that can save us now is Bybit shorts piling in. Facts. Lucifer, you're a fucking nerd. How do you think the market will play out in the next 3 to 6 months? Well, I've kind of already said that, you know, if I'm being honest. So, I think that the market is going to do what it did last summer, more or less. It's going to be bloody chop. People are going to be trying to break down short, and it's not going to break down in any meaningful way, in my opinion. It's just going to keep chopping people up. So we'll probably dive at the lows, come back up to the mid-range. Volatility will continue to get, you know, compressed further and further to the point where Bitcoin's barely moving at all. And then in like probably July, volatility will come back, and I hope it goes up. It's that simple. Following up on looking at open interest in your setup, are you looking at open interest to trend with price? No. I don't really care about something like if open interest is going up and down like together with price, right? If open interest is the lower and price is on top, right? I don't care about like if they're going together. It's just more about seeing positioning and seeing people's mistakes, right? Seeing moments where open interest spikes up a lot in in an area where maybe I could fade that, or open interest going down a lot in an interest, a situation where I could fade it. It's pretty much it, right? I'm just looking for poor positioning to bet against on low time frame. I recently learned what that acronym means. Explain like I'm 5, the 6 windows to your thought process. Macro chart, medium time frame chart, lower time frame order flow chart, daily TPO, weekly TPO, and experimental footprint. So I'm just messing around with trading these new footprint setup. I don't really know if I like it yet, to be honest, but frankly, I don't know if I necessarily even need a footprint anymore with how good just the basic like 3-minute chart works for me. But that's it, right? Macro, medium, lower time frame, daily TPO, weekly TPO, experimental footprint. I'm just trying to test this out and see if I like it, to be honest. Magus, I told you I had a 40-hour week last week from your teaching on intraday. I love to see those kind of comments, by the way. That's cool. 40 hours, like an absolute shitload, to be honest, dude. My downfall, though, is getting run over by momentum at times. Please help. Yeah, I mean, so study the momentum loss pattern. It works for buying and selling. Go to my thread and study it, and then try to apply it to what you're seeing in the chart in front of you. That's super important, honestly. For lower time frame guys, right, pretty much all low time frame trading is reversion. There isn't really too much momentum that exists on lower time frame unless you're scalping. So yeah, I mean, it really comes down to understanding how momentum shifts. Whenever you have an impulse, up or down, you got to understand that price is always going to there's no such thing as always, right? As close to always is going to exist in the world. Price is going to keep going up or down, right? You have a strong move down, price is going to keep going down. You have a strong move up, price is going to keep going up. And you got to learn how to identify it as that momentum gets rounded out and lost, which comes from multiple drives. Just go to my my momentum loss thread. It's definitely worth reading for all you guys. Do you dollar cost average into entries or full size one entry? A combination of like DCAing, but just not blind DCAing, right? So like, it depends on what style of trading I'm doing. For like swing trading, for example, I'll just like buy every time there's like a big sell-off, basically. Would be for like swing trading spot. And I do something similar for scalping, right? Like if I think, it's called scale trading, right? So like if this is like a range and we like come down in the range I want to buy here, right? I don't just like buy it all. So how I break it up is different every session, but generally it's something along the lines of like quarters or fifths would be probably my most common way to break it up. But I'll buy, wait for it to move around a little bit, and then buy some more, wait for it to move around a little bit, buy some more, and then okay, it starts looking good, maybe I'll do one more chase order, and then I'll take profit, take profit, take profit, take profit, right? So like I don't just like buy all in one thing and sell all in one thing ever. But to be clear, I'm not just like seeing price do this and just buying some, buying some, buying some. I'm not doing that kind of shit. That's like your standard DCA. I don't believe in DCAing like that. The only reason why DCAing like that makes sense is if you are somebody who is completely checked out from markets. And let's say you have like a long-term belief in Bitcoin for the next 15 years, then be a DCAer if that's fine, if you don't pay attention to markets at all. But if you're actually trading, don't do it. Can you show what your spot percentage, exposure percentage is now? I mean, I don't even know exact numbers. I probably have like 65 to 75% of my money in crypto right now. I've got some money in equities. I've got cash and stables and stuff. You posed your question as how much USDT do you have, but you got to have that circle as well. In my opinion, you want to break that shit up because you never know. Shout out to the unemployed brothers and sisters. So how many people think we just automatically get another super cycle like 2021, 6 months from now? Any chance? I'm not really even saying that I think that that's what's going to happen. I just think that I'm confident that we're going to have a bullish Q4 this year. That's been my thesis for a long time. Do I think that we're just going to just trend up throughout 2025? It's possible, but I don't really think that that's like the most, the highest probability situation. I think that doing well at the end of this year and then maybe chopping people next year. But we'll see. I mean, you just got to play those things by ear and go along with it. Explain to me like I'm retardio. We're going to start using that for sure. Green labels on the macro chart? No, those are just manually drawn from VWAPs. Be cool though if we made an indicator that did that. One more question if you have time, no problem, dude. What do you got? Regarding the price exiting and entering the range, if price exits to the downside of the range, what type of retests, in which type of retest you buy and you sell? Thanks. I don't really understand what your question is, bro. It might be me. One of us is retarded though. If price exits to the downside of the range, in which type of retest you buy and which you sell? Thanks. I don't really know what you're saying. Are you saying if like you want to buy and it breaks the range, and you're saying you buy, like what kind of retest you buy or sell? You got to re-ask your question, bro. One of us is retarded here. Can you chart Sol? We could, I guess. Jesus. They're murdering my Solana. So yeah, I don't really want to see the yearly VWAP get convincingly lost. That'll be a worrying sign for sure. I will not lie to you. So I want to see, it's the same kind of argument with like DOGE and like any of the other coins I have. I don't want to see the yearly VWAP structuring get lost. If it is, then I'm probably going to reevaluate things, but we'll see. I'm still pretty optimistic about Solana long term. Being bullish on Solana has worked really well for me over the past, 15 months or whatever. So I'm not going to just stop doing that anytime immediately soon. I would love to see 145 get reclaimed. Otherwise, right, we really want to see a bounce here pretty soon. But let's be honest, it's probably going to trade down lower. But it is what it is. Is trading a good career to pursue if you're struggling to make it since the past 3 years? That's a really good question. I guess I'm just going to give the super honest answer because that's how I always do things. I had to think about that for a second if I was going to sugarcoat it. The obvious answer is no. It's not a good career. Trading's not going to be a good career for pretty much anybody regardless of how smart you are, how talented you are, right? Trading is not a solid career choice for just about anybody because it lacks stability and is really hard on your mental health. So it's hard on your brain. It can be hard on your body too if you don't take care of yourself in the process, right? And there's no guarantee that you're ever going to make money. And if you do make money, it will likely be in a more sporadic and unstructured way. So I know that's not what you guys want to hear. And if, you have to have that kind of blind faith in yourself that you can be better than everybody else because it's not something that is going to come easily to hardly anybody. There's that 1 in 10 million guy that's just a savant or whatever that's just meant to do it. but the likelihood of you being that person is pretty low. So you're gonna have to beat people with working hard. So that's the kind of pessimistic, realistic answer, though. I'm not gonna sugarcoat some shit like that and tell you guys that if you follow these 3 steps, you're gonna make money, because it doesn't work that way. The honest answer is it's really hard, and I think that trading should be a hobby for most people. There's nothing wrong with that, right? It could still be something. You could still be successful with trading and not have it be the only thing you do in life. So yeah, we'll digress from there. I'm not trying to sound pessimistic or anything, because I mean, I obviously have traded full time for a couple of years now, and I know friends that have done it successfully and stuff. I have a real life friend that has traded successfully. So it does exist. It's just not easy. Do you scale like that when scalping as well? Yeah, I mean, I pretty much primarily trade like that when I'm scalping. I think you misunderstood me earlier. Still holding your DOGE position? I am. And I'm officially at break even on DOGE. Some of my friends are just holding their underwater alt bags thinking it will recover in 2024 Q3/4. Bad idea. Many of them don't actually understand finance or market cap value or emissions in alts. Yeah, so that's just basically the kind of pain that everybody goes through. You buy shitty altcoins, they go down, and then you never sell them because you just tell yourself they're going to go up one day. Everybody goes through that cycle of pain, and you either come out at the other side having learned your lesson, or you quit, right? Those are the 2 options for how that plays out. So you can try to explain that to your friends, but a hard lesson for me has been realizing that people have to learn lessons themselves. I've had a lot of instances where I saw somebody, somebody I'm actually friends with, doing something that I've already learned the hard lesson on, and I've tried to explain, like, hey man, maybe you shouldn't do that because this is what happened to me. And even smart people will just ignore your experience. They have to experience it for themselves, right? The proposition Joe quote that a man learns best when he gets burned. Chatters be chatting. Trying to keep up with everything, boys. Let's see, what do we got? Don't know how to convince them that we might never see those prices back. Yeah, I mean, I basically just said you're not going to be able to. So you can do your best and say your bit, but I wouldn't lose sleep over it, man. Learning to let go of other people's life situations has been pretty important for me, because I see things and want to help, and it can be bad for you. High time frame positional trend trading is probably good for the vast majority of people and working a regular job to have stability. Yeah, I agree. Honestly, high time frame trend following is probably the way that people can make the most money in their lives. It's not going to be from active day trading and stuff. What's the difference between the Paragon Group and Paragon Mentorship? I don't know how to answer that there, because there isn't really, yes, some people can turn it into mentorship, but that doesn't really exist by default. It's just the reason why one of the main reasons why I originally made the group was because I couldn't help all the people that wanted me to help them. So I made a space where I can help multiple people in one time, right? Instead of saying the same lesson to 22 people, you can put out a video and have the lesson shared to all of them right then and there. The hell is this music? We need the chill. Kind of glad I don't follow the typical safe portfolio of Bitcoin and ETH. I mean, I would agree. My safe portfolio looks pretty differently. though, because it's Bitcoin and Solana. I don't think having ETH in your portfolio as a big player makes sense anymore. Don't worry, bro. Might be me. I'm referencing your older videos from the ranges. When price exits the range, you wait for the reset and then buy. For that case, let's say, in which situations don't you buy? If I was to see like momentum not really shifting, or if I was to see like strong directional flows or something, it would be the best way to explain that. So yeah, if there's no momentum loss, you don't bet on the reversion, and if there's like strong directional flows, you don't bet on the reversion as well. To be clear, I'll leak a little bit on the flows bit because I know that's going to have a lot of questions. What I mean when I say that is that you want to be betting off of like stupid perps and stuff. That's when you want to be taking trades, right? So a long just got blown out, so you buy, or a short just got, a stupid short just opened, so you buy. If there's like a spot TWAP going off selling into the range low, you don't buy that, right? So you need to contextualize that stuff properly. ETH not looking good? Yeah, no shit. ETH has been looking bad for a long time. Remember this weekend when everyone was bull posting ETH? Crazy. Let's say you are a beginner, not too retarded, crazy work ethic. You need to be learning as fast as possible. What are you studying? It kind of is hard for me to answer that kind of question without some sort of preface by saying, like, I don't really know what kind of direction you want to go. If I'm answering the question for myself, I would be studying the logic of what makes markets go up and down and studying the psychology behind it, right? Because for me, like, getting the basic order flow understanding and understanding auction market theory and understanding momentum and stuff, I would say is definitely some of the most important stuff. So you need to be finding out what you want to do and then going down that path is the key, right? Because I don't know if you want to be a swing trader or a scalper or something, right, when you ask that question. I don't really know what you're referring to, but let's see what you're getting at. I mean, I don't really agree with you because at the end of the day, you are playing with probabilities. You just gotta put in the work, backtesting, and manage your risks. It will come. So you're probably talking about the likelihood of having success as a trader. Let me go ahead and shatter your guys' realities really quickly when I say that probabilities don't really fucking exist for trading. Every fucking nerd comes in here and pretends that they have these back-tested systems that have hard probabilities, and I know this has a 69% chance of working for me. No, you fucking don't. It's just like, that doesn't exist. I'll just go ahead and tell you guys, rip the band-aid off and explain that to you now. Because there's so much randomness and so much variance that exists in markets that it's impossible to trade in a vacuum where you have the proper scientific approach is having all the variables controlled and only changing one variable, right? That can never exist in financial markets because of the amount of variance. So to be clear, I'm not saying that nobody can figure out how to make money trading. Like, I know that you can because I've done it, right? And I have friends that have done it. I know it can be done, but I'm not going to sit here and sell sunshine and rainbows narrative to people that if you just work hard and backtest your strategy, you're going to make money. Because, that's only one piece of the puzzle anyways, right? Psychology is probably the largest chunk that you have to challenge your own psychology and understand yourself and understand others. But to be clear, you guys should really take that lesson away, though. And I don't really make that point that much because I don't know if everyone can necessarily digest it, but hard set probabilities in trading just don't exist because of how much variance exists in life, right? There's too many random things occurring. So true probability stuff for people that actually understand the game is estimations, right? When I say I think this is a higher probability or lower probability, it's just an estimation. There's no fucking hard set number behind it because it doesn't exist. And trust me, I spent years trying to get hard set numbers only to come to the realization that I was wasting my time. Let that sink in. If you're going into intraday trading, how do you form a intraday / session bias? I mean, what is the the prevailing macro trend, right? What's going on in the immediate picture, right? So if I was trading today, I'd obviously be trading, bearishly, right? What's the momentum looking like? Who's in control? Those kind of basic ideas. A lot of the times for intraday, my plans come from the TPO. So, I mean, I think that the market's going to round out and not trade that much lower than it already is. But, I definitely, TPO is a really big tool for me for identifying where the market's going to go in the short term. Do you think Bitcoin touches the yearly VWAP? I mean, it's not far away from it at all, right? So yeah, I mean, it's pretty reasonable chance that it could trade at $3,000 lower and get to the yearly. That's like not a crazy expectation at all. Couldn't you take a 2x leverage trade long here on some alts like DOGE and Sol and be fine? You could, but that's not a smart way to trade, probably. In my opinion, yeah, I mean, you're not factoring in the expenses behind that, right? Are you going to pay funding for 6 months to sit in that trade and get auto deleveraged by funding payments? I mean, that you're not going to get auto deleverage for 2x leverage, but higher leverage, that's a very real thing where funding takes you out of the game. That's just an overly simplified way of like looking at it. I definitely don't think that that's how you want to be trading. If anything, just do the same trade with spot. What the fuck do you need the 2x leverage for? Just buy spot. If that's the mentality you're going to have about buying things and doing nothing, just buy spot. Adapt or die. Facts. Do you think we need a liquidity injection like quantitative easing or something similar in order to go full bull tardio like last cycle? No, not really. I think that the past year and a half should probably have taught people that we don't need that. We went from 16K to 73K or whatever, right? With bearish macro conditions and stuff like that. So no, I don't really think we need that. That would just be nice is all. But they have, the feds have no reason to be doing QE and shit like that, right? Things are sunshine and rainbows in the world for the most part from an economic standpoint. So you need to wait till the markets get smashed and then do that. Do you think the yearly VWAP is a solid area for reversal? It could be. This really became just a question and answer, a Q&A chat, but that's all good. Hopefully you guys are learning something here. Most people would be better off betting size on established meme coins. I don't disagree. I mean, that's how I play things, right? When I buy random Solana shitters, I'm playing with 10, 20 SOL. I'm playing around with nothing, right? When I want to use real money, I'm buying major cap liquid memes. Can you do a quick lesson on auction market theory? I don't really want to because I feel like I would butcher it. I have 2 auction market theory videos on the YouTube channel that you're watching right now, so just go watch those, man. Why do you give out edge? Doesn't it matter? Or wait, doesn't other people using the knowledge make it less valuable for you? Not really, dude. I'm not too worried about the things that I'm saying being replicated by other people, because if I'm being super honest, I just know that most of you guys won't be able to do it, right? Even if I tell you exactly what to do, you're still not going to be able to do it, because for us discretionary traders, the most important thing is having like self-reflection, self-control, all that kind of stuff, all the self bit, right? And only you can figure those things out. I do my best to help with those things as well, right? Like I put out a psychology thread like a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, where I talked about that a lot, but only you can figure those things out on your own. It doesn't matter what I say. So I don't care about explaining some technical thing, because it's not, you guys understanding momentum loss isn't going to stop it from working, right? And also, I'm just comfortable always kind of evolving with how the game moves forward. I'm not like complacent where I have the same approach and I'm going to use the same approach for the next 30 years. I'm going to keep adapting and trying to get better and stuff. So I use I've said this a couple times on stream. I use the pro gamer analogy where there's an IGL. I don't really watch this game anymore, but IGL for a team that I used to watch. He talked about how he's like, you know, talking to his chat, and he says, all you guys are playing catch up, right? I'm at the front of the pack, and all I have to do is move forward, and you guys all are way behind and have to catch up and then keep pace once you catch up. So he's like, it's basically impossible for you guys to catch up and keep pace. All I have to do is move forward. That's how I view it, where I don't have to catch up to things. I just have to keep moving forward and set the pace for other people. We can look at DOGE really quickly. DOGE looks not good, I won't lie. And I might like break even on my DOGE officially today. It is what it is, you know. I'm not invalidated yet. I'd rather take the L than cut it too early. So I'm just gonna keep chilling and you know, pray it works out. I don't have some crazy magic, you know, answer for you guys on this stuff. Bitcoin is edge maxing. Smarter participants in markets make them more efficient. I don't believe that's a poor thing. How do I address that? You don't really want markets to be efficient though, right? I mean, smarter market participants do make things more efficient, but you don't really want that. You want things to be inefficient. That's how you make money as a trader, right? You need things to be fucked up to have a chance to make money, if we're being honest here. Experience greater than all, indeed, my friend, indeed. Do you think retail has been involved last year? Is it mostly CT? So first of all, right, of course retail has been involved because we're all retail, right? Unless you trade professionally or trade for like a family office or something, you're a retail trader, right? So we're all retail traders, so the answer to that question is yes. But do I think you're kind of asking more so, do I think new entrants are coming in? I do think that they are, just not in any sort of mania type of way, so yes. You got to realize that some people are just tourists, and then some people are like kind of half in, half out, or they kind of pay attention to crypto, but only to make money randomly when numbers going up. So those type of people where they have one foot in the door, one foot out, have returned for sure. I have real life friends that do that. Would you post an educational thread about TPO in the near future? Yeah, I could do that. I would recommend going and reading my old TPO thread. 1 billion in licks more to go. Like, you know exactly how many liquidations there are. I don't think they will have mercy on the longs. Risk reward wouldn't be great for them. Bears can always wait because the time is inevitable. Sorry, late to the stream. Thoughts? I don't know what you mean by 1 billion more in liquidations to go. I'm afraid to even ask, but I think that that means that you're probably reading a liquidation heat map, which I'm not a fan of. But yeah, I mean, I do think the price is going to keep going down. I've said that before, like more than once on the stream. How do you simplify a strategy so that you can abuse the same edge over and over again and build the stack? I find myself wanting to do every trade, whether that's the Dalai Lama play or the scalping. It kind of just comes back to what I was saying earlier about the kind of self-control and doing proper self-reflection, mindfulness, introspection, etc. If you don't stop and think about what you're doing and try to do better, you know, that's really what all this stuff comes down to for the most part for discretionary traders. So, you know, try to pick one or two things and really stick with it and just really emphasize self-control. When I talk with, you know, less experienced traders or do a lot of these streams, it kind of becomes really clear to me that that's where a lot of people struggle, is just self-control. and forming habits and stuff. I mean, ask yourselves when you're thinking about this kind of stuff, like, what does your self-control look like in other aspects of your life, right? Let's say you want to be fit. Do you actually eat well and exercise regularly, or do you half-ass work out, or do you hardly ever work out, right? I mean, discipline in other aspects of your life are going to translate over to discipline in trading. New retail went straight to on-chain low-cap casino. That is facts. That is for sure facts. My real-life friends went straight to Solana, which is another reason why I'm so bullish on Solana. I love that it instantly was able to onboard all the Giga noobs. I noticed Tensor's on your news scams. What do you think of it? I'm super bullish on Tensor long term. I think that unfortunately it got listed in a period where the market is grossly risk off, so that's why it's not really playing out, but I think it'll just be a classic big booty coin. What the hell? The classic big booty pattern. I think it'll keep driving lower. I'm not really saying exact targets about 20 cents or anything like that, but keep driving lower, lose momentum, round out, go into accumulation, and then be a big pumper and go to $4 or something. This has nothing to do with the token price. Fundamentally, I'm super bullish on Tensor because I'm bullish on Solana, because I'm bullish on NFTs on Solana, and because I have a really good friend that works on the Tensor team. So it's my trifecta of reasons why I think Tensor will be a really good coin one day. This whole scams thing is more of a meme than anything. Yeah, $4.20 confirmed. Hey Mag, do you agree with the saying, or is it a meme? The more time support or resistance is tested, the weaker it gets. It's probably real. It's probably more real than fake. Magus, if you have limited finances and you have to choose between getting your kids his birthday present or getting a good meme coin setup, what do you choose? Troll comment has never been more clear to me. Obviously, you fucking buy the meme and say, sorry, kid. Do you ever look at the Bitcoin against SPX chart? No, I don't, but one of my friends, musician, posts it all the time, so I just see it from him. Bullish on Magus friends. You should be bearish on my friends for sure. Oh, you mean like the Tensor play is what you mean? Yeah, that's different. Yeah, bullish on my crypto friends, bearish on my real life friends. I'm the poor kid, so I'm choosing the present. At what point will you cut Doge? If it loses like 12 cents or maybe 11 cents, I'll take the loss. I mean, I haven't been put under pressure in any meaningful way, right? It's just come back to my entry twice now. Who knows? Maybe I like sell it and then buy it back. I really don't know what I'm going to do. It's largely contingent upon what Bitcoin's going to do. I think if Bitcoin continues its range, then I'm not going to really worry that much. One of the main things I'll be looking for is if Bitcoin, I think, is actually going to break down and trade into the 50s. I think if Bitcoin's going to go to 50 or 45K or something, I'm not holding altcoins for that. If point of control is considered fair value, then why is there a lot of volume transacting there? Doesn't that mean there's a disagreement at the levels? No. You're viewing that backwards, right? So if you look at a distribution, right, and you have your value area high, value area low, and your point of control, the area where the majority of trading is taking place is considered fair value, right? How did you word that again? Doesn't that mean there's a disagreement? No, so the disagreement between buyers and sellers are happening in the low volume areas, right? So you look at it like this, right? When you trade down into the lows and you bounce back, That's because there's a disagreement. Sellers took it down here and buyers said nope, and they brought it back up, right? So that's why the areas where you're spending the most time are the most agreed upon areas, right? Where there's balance between buyers and sellers. Yes, there's a lot of buying and selling taking place here, but it's like balanced, right? Where you're spending the majority of the time here. I didn't really answer that well, but we got it done anyways. All right, everybody. I'm going to wrap up the stream here in like 10 minutes probably. So any last second stuff, throw it in the chat. If you haven't already, press that like button for me. Bitcoin ecosystem's getting murdered. Yeah, I saw that like ordinals was down pretty bad. Holy fuck. Going to zero. What's going on with Pepe? I'm pretty sure Pepe is pretty strong right now. Fuck's Pepe at? Oh, I guess not. I mean, yeah, Pepe is kind of holding up. It's pretty crazy how much stronger Pepe has been than like DOGE and stuff recently. I have a bag, so I approve this message. Max pain as we break down the 30 to 45. I don't think we're going to 30, bro. That's too low. I don't think that low. You're trying to say that we're going to play out a 2021 fractal? I don't think so, but it's possible. At value area low, volume is low because buyers want to buy, but sellers don't want to sell. Opposite of, yeah, I mean, that's a good way of explaining it. I really think that you should probably add to that, though, right? Rather than saying at the value area low and high that volume's high or low, it's actually really going to be below or above them, right? That's going to be the low areas for sure. How does one become one of Trader Magus's trader friends? Be funny. The people that have been around in the space for a long time don't give a shit about you teaching them things, you know, as much anymore. Be genuine, be wholesome, and be funny with banter. But I'm not gonna lie, your chances of being my friend is pretty low. I'm not like a friend kind of person for the most part. I don't want to sound too retarded, but I'm a bit of a recluse in a lot of ways. You think Pepe will hold up and go up or follow Bitcoin? Well, if Bitcoin goes down a lot, then everything's going to go down regardless. Study some of your order flow stuff, mate. Good to hear. I think it will help you. Is TradingView enough, or should I get Exo and Sierra? Just stick with the simple. Just stick with TradingView and stuff for now, honestly, and then move into the other programs if you feel like you need them. Full retrace of the ETF rally is unlikely. If it goes there, something is really bad. Yeah, I agree. Like a pullback to 45K could still keep the trend intact. Pull that up. You could pull back to 45K and still have the trends be okay. But if we pulled back any lower, like if we went to 30K, I mean, yeah. I mean, we're already cooked at that point, right? That's already such a massive pullback. So it's too late to even say it at that point. If I keep posting it everywhere it can happen, you want that to happen. That's crazy, dude. You sidelined? What's the message of the stream? I like that. An income pre-prepared with a theme of the stream. Get good, but have fun doing it. I really like that message, to focus on having fun during the process. Too many people are too serious and burn themselves out. Have fun. You will not make it if you don't learn to have fun. If you do, in what ways do you utilize intraday volume profile for your scalping? Seeing high volume nodes, seeing low volume nodes, seeing areas where there's a lot of delta built up. The kind of basic, you know, stuff you would do for intraday trading or anything really. Seeing where volume's taking place. I'm just confused because more volume would mean disagreement in pricing, so I don't know why auction market, or you said ATM, thinks that that's fair value maybe for a given. So look, dude. The market spends the majority of times in ranging and then periods, and then very seldom has momentum periods. What the market wants to do is it wants price to just not move at all, right? So it's humans' emotions and stuff are what pushes us to the edges of value and what pushes us out of value. But if like the market was this like living, breathing entity, what it wants is it wants price to come and stabilize and then just do nothing. So, and just keep trading at the same price point is essentially what auction market theory teaches. So, if you look at this period, let's draw this out where you have a bunch of price and you have fair value and then, you know, non-fair value. If you look at this on a volume profile, what's this going to look like? It's going to have a big fat fucking bulge point of control right here, right? Where the majority of the volume is taking place, and then it'll have like a bulge up here, and it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a dick and balls pattern, obviously, right? This is the fair value area where the majority of volume was traded. There's always going to be more volume traded at fair value and less volume traded where it's not fair value. And always remember, kids, everything is a dick and balls in trading. I'm sure the YouTube algo is going to love me for that one. Do a 1v1 on Dust 2 with a fan each week. That's crazy, dude. Who plays Dust 2 anymore? Are you old? You guys don't want the smoke on Counter-Strike. I'm not a pro or anything, but I'm pretty fucking good at CS these days. What the fuck? How do you draw multiple ranges with value area? Don't use the visible range, use a fixed range. Fixed range volume profile. Laughing through the pain. Yeah, what Fern said, that's pretty spot on. Market makers essentially want price to stabilize. Right? High volatility is not what like the market makers want. High volatility represents a huge risk to them. They can get run over by toxic full. They want stable, lower medium volatility, just oscillating around the same price over and again. So that's really why that occurs. Like, we can expand off what Fern's saying, right? Like, market makers want to make a bracket and contain price so that they can just feed off of the back and forth steadily, right? If there's any periods where volatility spikes up, right, that's tough for them. They could lose a lot of money. So it's just liquidity is what pins price down and makes that occur. We love Dust 2. Can't wait for Dust 3. Dust 2 sucks. For real, for real. It's actually terrible map design. Quality stream, no problem, Peter. They really sold in May and went away. Honestly, we sold in March and went away. Let's be real. Do you pull the fixed range profile like pivots like VWAP? Correct. Where's the trend end? When's the trend start? You say market wants price flat because that's the easiest condition for liquidity. I mean, yeah, that's basically what I just said, right? It's not to say it's flat. They just want low volatility chopping because that's like the easiest way for market makers, at least for larger market makers, to make money without having a lot of the added risk. Everything's trading like a cock and balls. Remember that. Do you think Puff Daddy's guilty? Of course, bro. That shit's sussy as hell. Alright. That's going to do it for me today. Hopefully we learned something. Hopefully we're slightly less retardio from watching this. Always remember to have fun with your trading and don't take everything too seriously. You're going to get burnt the fuck out and give up. And be a wage cuck the rest of your life. Where are you looking to long? Maybe like 57K for a short-term long. We'll see. Inferno and Nuke for the win. Tony. I don't know about that Inferno either, dude. Definitely like Nuke. I think Ancient, Nuke, Anubis, Vertigo. Those are probably like the best maps right now off the top of my head. There's like one more that I'm missing. Overpass is pretty good too, but they took it out of the queue for some reason, those retards. But Modern Inferno is kind of trash. They fixed it a little bit in the big patch they just did. Alright, lads. That's it for me. If you want to learn more, join the Paragon group. Obligatory shill. I'll see you next week. Later, everybody.